guys know me. I gotta fix this all the time. All right. Let's do this. All right. Okay. All right. I'm just starting the live, but I'm just gonna get into it because I don't really like to prolong things. So, welcome to Intuitive Vibes, Narc Survival 101. Just give me a second, guys. I want to fix the lighting for a quick second. I'm trying to make myself too light. Alrighty. Okay, looks good. Welcome to Intuitive Vibes, Narc Survival 101. Your girl Erica here. So if you're new to the channel, stick around. You may hear something that you need to know that may be going on with any particular aspect of your relationships, whether they be romantic or family relationships. The name of the title says it all, Narc Survival 101. So, and of course, to all of my existing vibers, welcome back, guys. So we're here for our weekly sessions. And let me fix this. Okay. Guys, hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys are having a good evening. I had a very, very long day, but of course I am here because, well, it's what I do. It's what I do. Hi, Adrena. Hi, sweetheart. So we're going to get into it. Just a few things. One thing I've wanted to make was a little announcement. Hi, Heather. Welcome, hun. So apparently, a lot of the things that I've been doing involving mental health awareness, involving domestic abuse, you know, be it if it's verbal, emotional, mental, or even physical abuse, I noticed something. And this goes to show how when you speak truth, when you are giving truth to people who need to hear it, people who claim to, thank you, wait, oh, the chair, I thought you said my hair. It is very cozy, very, very cozy. You know, when you're speaking truth and you're speaking on issues that not many people, I guess, maybe understand, or maybe people do understand and the shoe is beginning to fit for certain people, I noticed that people that I've known personally, family members and even friends, they've been unfollowing me, guys. They've been unfollowing me. They have, you know, which I found it odd, but I mean, because of, I guess, maybe what it is I'm doing, the content that I'm putting out, they've, you know, I guess decided that maybe it's a little too much. And, you know, yeah, they have. And, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Adrena, I look at it this way. I only need people in my circle. I only need people in my environment that truly matter, you know? And that's why I do this, because we've all been through something in our lives. And yes, thank you, Adrena. Absolutely. Absolutely. You've all become like family. You've all become like family to me. And, you know, and it's amazing. But I mean, I live by, you know, blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. So, you know, where people are, I love you too, Heather. I love all of you. But yeah, I found it kind of odd that people have been unfollowing me. And just, you know, I guess, like I said, if the shoe fits, we got to let them wear it. And if they don't understand, you know, what it is that I'm trying to accomplish or what it is I'm trying to do, which is help other people who are going through certain things, then, I mean, listen, I'm not going to fault them for it. You know, that's their choice. That's what they want to do. I know what that's like. I blocked one of my biological mom's sister. So, you know, and I think the truth makes people who obviously, you know, it's hitting a chord with them. It makes them feel uncomfortable. But I see it this way. If the truth makes you feel uncomfortable, then you don't need to be following me, and you don't need to be around me, and you don't need to associate yourself with me. So that's how I look at it, because I'm not going to water myself down for anybody. especially when there are just like, so many people out there in the world who really need it. And, we do things outside of ourselves. That's what being selfless is about. I take time to do things to help other people and, help them get through the motions, because the reality of it is I know what it is to have to try to get through it alone. And, you don't want to see other people go through that. Absolutely, Heather. The truth will set you free. Absolutely. So yeah, I found it kind of odd, but it is what it is. I'm not tripping over it. I mean, my rent's still paid, my bills are still paid, and here I am with you guys, the people who matter the most. So that's all that really matters. Um, Adrena, the aunt of mine isn't even a narc, but she's toxic otherwise. Narc or not, toxicity is toxicity. Absolutely. So it was no loss to me anyways. I deleted her distasteful comment on that video and blocked her. Yeah, that's all you have to do. Just, block them out, block them off of your social media, block them out of your life if that's what it takes. Because, at the end of the day, you're responsible for only you, and you're responsible for what you say, but you're not responsible for how people interpret it. So at the end of the day, I just look at it as, you don't like what I post up, you don't like the content that I'm putting up, or you don't want to have any affiliation with me, that's perfectly fine. I'm not hating you on it. I don't hate anybody. You go your way, I go mine. Simple as that. Yep, exactly. So yeah, that was just, a little thing I wanted to mention. But guys, we've been doing these weekly sessions, which is very therapeutic for me. It's been extremely therapeutic for me, and I hope it's been therapeutic for you guys too. And there were a few things that I did want to talk about, and especially in learning other people's stories and other people's situations, because people who are on the channel are going through the motions with a narcissist as we speak. So like, they're actually with a narcissist or someone who's extremely toxic. We're not just going to limit it to narcissists. We're just going to basically generalize it to toxicity, toxic people. And it just, it's heartbreaking, because you want so much to help people, and you want so much to just kind of guide them in the right direction. And at the end, at the same time, you have to kind of also give them that tough love, like, this is the reality of it. And sometimes you don't want, I guess part of me is like, damn, I don't really want to say it like this, but I feel like I have to, because a lot of the time the brutal truth is what's going to get through to people. Sugarcoating things or saying things that kind of like, divert, it's not something that, obviously, something I do. I don't do that. I say it like it is. If someone asks me a question, I'm going to give it to you flat out. And a lot of people, I've been getting a lot of comments on a lot of videos, previous videos that I have done, like when I first started the channel. And I have actually been going through old videos as well, because, everybody's going through a different stage in their life. Everybody's going through different issues with different types of people in their lives. That's why I don't just limit it to romance, and I don't just limit it to family. I kind of, mix it in there. And, when it boils down to it, I mean, this, listen, the way things have been happening in the world lately, and again, I feel like the people I really feel for the most are the people who are currently in situations with with the person that is a manipulator, it's very toxic, is a narcissist, possibly a sociopath, possibly a psychopath. It's with this pandemic and them being, stuck in a situation, you feel for them. Not many of them are very lucky like we are, where we don't have to be around people like that, where we are on our own and we do our own things. So, I continuously do this because I want to make sure that even though you have people that are in these situations, they know that they can still get through it, and they know that they have the support that they need. Hi, Gil. Hi, sweetie. Oh, yeah, Adrena. He's currently on lockdown in the UK with her. That's, yeah. Yeah, that's, and and the interesting thing about it is that when it boils down to people like this, You know, they'll clearly show you one side of themselves. And of course, in a situation like this, like the pandemic and being in a lockdown or even being in a quarantine, you really would, I mean, we've gotten to see certain people in the way they are over time, but imagine people who are locked down with these types of people. Like, they're seeing it full force right then and there, you know? And I don't know which would be considered worse. Like, I would say the part that would probably be considered worse is being in an experience, you know, in this experience with someone where it's over time, you know, where it's over time, because it's like being dragged out. And, you know, because the beginning stage of, you know, dealing with a narcissist, I mean, every narc is different. You know, one narcissist may love bomb you and the other narcissist may just, you know, appear to be humble and, you know, very reserved. Like, there are so many different types, and it's like so many different things that you have to look for. And even then, you can't really, you can't tell. You're basically like, um this person is being a little too nice to me, this person is being a little too forthcoming, and, you know, kind of like they're enamored with me. And you know, that's usually obviously the ones that are doing the love bombing, the ones that do it on cue, the ones that already know what to do and how to do it. And, you know, one of the things I wanted to say in regards to that, because when it boils down to love bombing, codependents, okay, people who are codependents tend to do similar things, all right? But it's not so much, obviously, a codependent is different from, I mean, you can have codependent narcs, so let's be clear on that. But codependents tend to try to really do more than what is necessary, because if they really feel connected, or they think they feel connected with someone, they will try to, you know, give on a full course meal, you know, at breakfast. You understand? Like, that's how a codependent is. And codependents tend to try to not only, you know, they're like, say for example, and I'm actually gonna I'm actually, just give me 1 second, guys. Yes, they do, Adrena. Yes, they do. They go above and beyond to please people, because it's not, and it's crazy. It's not so much to get someone to like you, because that's just who they are. Codependents, that's just who they are. They're like, you know, I really like you. I really want to be with you. I really, you know, enjoy being with you. They feel connected to the person. And if the person is going through a situation, they feel the need to try to save them. They feel the need to try to fix things. Even if it's in the beginning of a relationship, because once they feel that connection, a codependent person obviously is, you know, they are lacking something. They're lacking something, just like a narc is. They're lacking something. They're lacking connection, they're lacking confidence, they're lacking identity, they're lacking a lot of different things, very similar to a narcissist. However, a codependent person will not do things with malicious intent. They're not, you know, over pleasing. They're not over giving because, oh, I'm doing this because I'm in effort to try to manipulate you and get you to do things for me in return. They're doing it because they have attachment issues. So when they feel like they have a connection with someone, it's really that attachment. You know, even if it's in the beginning stage, it's really that attachment. And what they're doing is they're trying to compensate. They're trying to show the person, listen, this is who I am. This is, you know, I'm a very nice person. I'm not a bad person, you know. And even in the beginning stages, like if you've ever dealt with someone, and this is why I say be careful, because if you've ever dealt with someone, a codependent person, their actions appear similar to a narcissist. If you think about it, if you think about all of the things that a narcissist would do, and let's just say you're dealing with someone, they may not be a narcissist, they just may be a codependent person. Because a codependent person, like a narcissist, has an inner fear. They have an inner void. They have a fear of being, one, being abandoned. Two, they don't have self-love. Codependent people don't have self-love. And because they don't have self-love, they're relying on other people to fulfill them. So yeah, it's, you know, it's, and it can be, you can easily mistake someone who is a codependent as being a narcissist. So in the beginning stage, if you're dealing with someone, let's say they are a codependent, it may look like love bombing. It may look like that if they're giving you compliments, if they are, you know, if they're texting you, they're giving you so much attention, and they're, you know, they're just, it may seem kind of overwhelming even, you know, but if they're not doing it with those malicious, you know, intentions like a narcissist would do it, then no, they're not necessarily, they're not a narcissist. They're just someone who doesn't have self-love, who is just searching. They're searching to fill that void too. But the kind of void that they're searching to fill is just a void of feeling wanted, of feeling loved, because in their dynamics with their caregivers, their love was given transactionally. It, just like a narcissist was, it was given transactionally. And a narcissist and a codependent have suffered the same trauma. They've suffered the same type of trauma. They have suffered emotional abuse, mental abuse, physiological abuse, even possibly physical abuse. They've suffered the same type of trauma. The difference between the two is the codependent is relating to their afflictions. They're relating to the end result of the trauma. The narcissist is relating to the abuser. They're basically just taking in the abuse, and because they resent their abuser so much, they are pretty much turning into the abuser. So, you know, that is the biggest difference between the two. And, you know, as a recovered codependent, admittedly, I was like that. I was, you know, when I felt connected and I felt, you know, I really like this person and I want to get to know this person and I want to, you know, show them. I want to show them what kind of person I really am, because I'm really a good person. So much so to the point that even in the beginning stages, if I was dealing with someone, or I'll use my ex as prime example, it's not a big deal. When, you know, I really did like him and I really did want to, you know, obviously get to know him well and be around him a little more and just, you know, be close to him. That if there were situations he had going on in his life that had absolutely nothing to do with me, be it if it was financial or whatever the case may be, I wanted to help with it. I would say, listen, if you need help with this, mind you, here was the problem. Here was the problem. The problem was I was overextending myself and we were not even in a relationship yet. I was overextending myself and we had not officially been in a relationship yet. And I was, you know, I felt the need to try to, you know, to fix things and help him, and whatever it was that he needed, you know, I was like, yo, I got you. You know, I mean, listen, technically we're not together, but you know, I mean, we've been dating each other. That's another thing that codependents have to understand. When, and it's not about titles. It's not about, well, you know, that's not my boyfriend, I'm not your girlfriend. It was just the need, the need to help someone. You just felt like you needed to help someone, just like what you would do for your friends or your family, you would do for someone that you had a romantic interest in. And that was my issue. My issue was, if you have a problem, come on, I'll help you figure it out. And I'm sure that they looked at me like, well, we've only really known each other for a few months. And, you know, I don't know, maybe, you know, because some people are willing to take advantage of someone who's willing to help out. They're willing to take advantage of someone who's willing to say, listen, you know, if you don't have it, I'll give it to you so you can take care of it, because you just, you have that caregiver feeling. You have that caregiver, you know, aura or what have you. You have that because you've been like that throughout most of your life. And, you know, I was like that. I was like that. And over time, even throughout, you know, throughout the relationship, it was, you know, I was looking at it as us against the world, you know, us, it's you and me, it's you and me. But he was looking at it as, it's me on my own, and, you know, this is just the way it is. See, narcissistic people, narcissists, they're very dismissive, avoidant. I really strongly believe that they have that attachment style, dismissive avoidance, which means that the dismissive part is pretty much where if you're trying to express certain things to them, or if you're trying to express, for example, you're trying to express something to them that reflects on them negatively. Okay, let's say it reflects on them negatively. Clearly, they do not like criticism. Clearly, they do not like being reprimanded for anything. They don't like any of those things. So they will dismiss you. They'll dismiss your feelings. They'll dismiss what your say so is. Or or they will appease you, but it's only because at some point they're going to expect something in return. At some point, it's going to be known in the future that, well, I did this for you, so, technically you owe me. You understand? The difference between a narc and a codependent when it boils to that is, if a codependent does it for you, they're doing it for you because it's genuine. It's something from within them. They really don't look to be repaid. So like if I were to do something, if I were to do something nice for him, I would get looked at like, well, what's the catch? Or I would get looked at like, you know, well, first and foremost, I've been told, he told me straight up, oh, I think you're more interested in, just focusing on this relationship. And at that time, I didn't really, because I'm not thinking I'm codependent. I'm not thinking any of that. Well, I think your main concern is just being in a relationship. And I'm like, you got that from all of the things that I'm doing? You got that? What did you get that from? And, I hadn't realized that throughout the course of the relationship, I was being insulted. Like I was really being insulted, but it was being masked with you're too, you're instead of him just telling me you're kind of acting clingy, you're acting like this, because codependents do act clingy. They are clingy people. Instead of just being honest about it, he would be really rude and crude about things. He would just be, I guess maybe because he didn't know how to communicate. He doesn't know how to properly, narcs don't know how to properly communicate. They don't know how to, express emotions. And I think the majority of the time is because they lack the ability to do so. So they only do it the way they know how. But it had never occurred to me that that's what I was doing. It never occurred to me that, even in the midst of having anxiety throughout the relationship, because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to come up next. Hold on one second, guys. Yeah. I've seen you flirting with my boyfriend and trying to impress him in different ways. Narcs sure don't know how to properly express emotions without being abrasive. Yeah. And honestly, something, we can blame them for the things that they do. Hi, Alicia. Welcome, sweetheart. We can obviously hold them accountable for the things that they do, and we blame them for a lot of the things that they do because, at some point in time, right from wrong. But the majority of the blame goes to their caregivers. It goes to them because, they input these types of things in their head. They treated them a certain way. And because they treated them that way, they treat other people that way. But they don't treat everybody that way, guys. They treat people who they are obviously romantically involved with. If they are friends, if the people that they treat like this are friends, these are people that they feel are weak, that they can easily manipulate. They can control them. They can control how they maneuver. They can control the things that they do. I noticed, and I've noticed this with quite a few people, they obviously wear a mask and they are a certain way around certain type of people. That's how you know the difference between how the narc, works. If they are, for example, if you have a narcissist spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, what have you, if they are a certain type of way around a certain group of friends, and you can just tell the difference in that, like, we all know what the false mask is, right? So if they're wearing the mask around a certain group of friends, but you're seeing them, you're seeing something a little bit more familiar with a different group of friends, that's how you can tell the difference. If they talk to another group of friends or group of people like they're shit, like, like they are just whatever with them, just like how they would treat you on some occasions, that's how you know that that group is on the same boat as you, while the other group are the people that they're really trying to impress. They're trying to, because it's like two different personalities. It's like, yo, you're one way with this group of friends, but you're another way with this group of friends. And I'm more resonating with this group of friends because you've acted this way with me before too. But with this group of friends, it's just like damn, I don't even know this person. Like, you seem totally different with that group. Yeah. Yes, exactly, Adrena. The devalued bunch versus the idealized bunch. Absolutely. Hi, Indigo. Welcome, sweetie. That's exactly how it is. Like, or even with family members, like if you notice, if they are a certain way with family members, if you are in, like, say, family settings, family gatherings, what have you, and you see how they are around, these family members, if they are acting the same way, like, again, like that group of friends that they treat like shit, like they can, they just talk to them however way they want to. If you are in that setting and you're looking at them like, and the family members, mind you, let's say, for example, okay, if I was dating someone and I noticed that that person talks to family members like they own them, like they're nothing, like, like, your opinion means shit to me, it's nothing, I will, like, literally look at the person and be like, yo, how can you talk to your family members that way? But the biggest thing that you got to look for is how the family members respond. Now, if you're listen, if you're dealing with someone who has narcissists in their family, they may have codependents, they may have empaths, they may have different types of people. But the family members who just kind of, they don't say anything about it, they don't do anything about it, they just kind of you know, they're like if it's normal, that's how you know what kind of dynamic you're dealing with. But if you have family members that stand up to the person and say, you're not going to talk to me that way, you're not going to say X, Y, and Z to me, you're not going to treat me that way, you know the difference. You start to notice the difference between certain people. You know who the enablers are, you know who, possibly the other narcissists are, the other toxic people, you know all of these things. Hi, for justice. But yeah, you know who all of these, you kind of get the idea. And my thing is, I look for people who really want nothing to do with the family. That's my take on it, because that person is more than likely the scapegoat. That person is more than likely, well, scapegoat probably turned black sheep, where they're like, this whole dynamic is just like, I just don't want anything to do with this. If you've ever dealt with anybody who has, family members that is like, you're like, well, where's this person? How come that person's not here? Or I've heard you talk about X, Y, and Z, but they're not around. Oh, well, I don't know. They don't really come around, or they don't do this. There's a reason for that, guys. There is a reason for that. Just like if you have certain toxic people in your family and you choose not to associate with them, it's probably the same exact reason. That's a good perspective, to want to connect with someone in a narc family who wants nothing to do with them. Yeah. Yeah. Because if you think about it, when you're first dating someone, you obviously don't know what you're walking into. You obviously, you don't know anybody from a can of paint. So you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to meet a family. I'm going to meet these people. Don't know how the reaction is going to be. Don't know how it is. I'm very, very upfront and vocal about, listen, I'm close to my family, but I'm not. And by that, I'm like, most of my family is spread out, but I don't, I personally I like my own personal life. I like to keep my life, just with me, and that's it. I don't, so if someone, if I'm dating someone and they're like, well, am I ever going to get to meet your family? I, it's just this, every family has their, has their glitch. Every family has their toxic relatives, mental health issues, all types of stuff. Every family has it. And me personally, I love my family, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, I stick to myself. I don't really deal with many people. I don't deal with many people in my family. And I think that was also one of the problems that I had as being a codependent, because being a codependent, you if you don't really deal with anyone and you're in a relationship with someone, whether they are a narc or not, whether they are toxic or not, you tend to make that person your entire world. So as a codependent individual, that was my issue also. I made this person like the center of my world. I had friends, but rarely hung out. And I always just wanted to be like in that connection. And naturally, the beginning stage, as with any relationship, it was great. Everything was fine, cordial, cool. We were getting along fine. Situation got really rocky. There was some drama in the mix. And from that point on, it just went downhill. And my relationship had become, it had become unbearable. But the problem was that I couldn't, I couldn't let it go. I couldn't understand why, but I couldn't let it go. Even though we had moments where everything was great. At least I thought they were great. But then we had moments where it just got really nasty and really toxic. And the first thing I would say was, what did I do? What did I do? You ever notice that? You're always saying, what did I do? Because of so much deflection, because they've managed to make you feel like you're the reason why they act the way they do. You're the reason why they say the things they say. You're the reason why. They always find the way to manage to make you feel like you're the problem. I wouldn't have said that to you if you weren't being this way. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if my ex would tell me. I wouldn't have said those horrible things to you had you just left me alone, had you just not poked at me, had you just not bothered me. You understand? That's deflection. So because I think any rational person who's going through a breakup, who's going through a discard, you are trying to understand, you're trying to gain clarity. Anyone who's not trying to give you clarity in a situation, anyone who's just pretty much like pushing you, pushing you beyond your limit, and just being really nasty and mean and brutal about it, and gaslighting you, because that's exactly what happened, and not giving you any kind of definitiveness, not giving you anything. They're just like, it's, in my situation, it wasn't working. Okay. So I'm responsible for your happiness. Well, no, I'm not happy. Okay. You're not happy. All right. No problem. So because you're not happy, and guys, listen, I tried to talk about it, try to be cordial about it. It just all blew up. But it all blew up where I was the one who was being controlling. I was the one who was being toxic. I was the one who was doing this. I was the one who was doing that. Erica, it's you. Erica, it's you. Erica, it's you. It's you. It's you. So what did I do? I internalized it and I said, fine, it's me. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. I'm the reason why you were nasty to me. I'm the reason why you said those mean, horrible things to me. I'm the reason why you were doing all of the things that you were doing. It was my fault. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. So what do? Erica goes for therapy. Erica goes for, trying to understand what the hell is wrong with Erica? Why is this happening to Erica? Because, and it turned out to be, these people are clearly broken. They're broken. And you try to fix them. You try to fix them. You're trying to give them love. You're trying to give them, you know, your devotion, your loyalty. You think that you're doing a good job. You think that, and all you got in return, and tell me if it sounds familiar, you got paranoia, you got bickering, you got arguments, you got, you know, silent treatment, you got attitude, you got, what else? You got accusations, you got, you know, everything that you could possibly think of. Adrena. Yeah, I'd say my ex has codependent tendencies and he's made his life revolve around her the past 8 months, and it ultimately destroyed the divine connection we had. My ex did that one day when she was threatening to disappear from our friend group. She knew she'd been low key establishing a trauma bond with him. Oh, of course. Of course. So he'd be fearful of her absence. That never happened. Indigo says, and in the end, they end up breaking you. Or at least, yes, or at least they do their best. Yes. You know, guys, you know, you guys know like I said, you guys know the story of my discard. And at the end of the day, if my ex was to come to me tomorrow and say, I didn't mean to do X, Y, and Z, you're going to sit here and tell me that everything that you were doing, you were unaware. You were unaware. Listen, guys, people who have no conscience are still conscious. You understand me? I'm going to say it again. People who have no conscience are still conscious of what they are doing. Okay? They are still conscious of what they are doing. They know. You knew what you were doing. You knew that by being nasty and rude to me and talking down to me and making me feel inadequate, you knew what you were doing. You knew that I was going to see the things that you were doing. You knew that I was going to see you reconnect with your ex. So I don't know if some of you guys have dealt with someone who, you know, clearly toxic, narcissistic, or narcissist, reconnect with their exes, reconnect with people from their past, flirting with other people in front of you, showing off in front of you, knowing that you're in pain. Knowing that you're in pain, knowing that you're trying so hard to deal with it, knowing all of these things, they're conscious. He was conscious when he was doing it. And I'm not going to make excuses. Maybe the old Erica would have made excuses for him. The old Erica would have said, well, you know, let me not think too much into it. Let me not say it's like this. Let me not say it's like that. No, they are conscious, guys. They are conscious. And this is why I tell you, be careful of Hoovers, be careful of holiday. Oh, I'm gonna wish you a happy holidays. Oh, you know, listen, I just wanted to reach out to wish you a happy birthday. Oh, I heard there was an accident up the block from your house. I wanted to make sure you were okay. Oh, tell your aunts, uncle, sister's brother I said happy anniversary. No. They were conscious when they were saying what they said to you. They were conscious when they were doing what they did. They were conscious when they were trying to hurt you. And all you can do is sit there and just wonder, why? Why? What have I done? What have I done to deserve that? That's what you're saying to yourself. What did I do to deserve this kind of treatment? What did I do? And the truth of the matter is, you were just being yourself. You were being the opposite of what their mom was being, their dad was being, their exes were being, because if they've dealt with other narcissistic exes, okay, you were being the opposite. And because they looked at you as if you were weak, they looked at you as if you were weak because you had a heart, because you cared, because you loved, because you shown them, I just want to love you. What is the problem? They looked at that as a weakness because it was embedded in their head. Their parents or their caregivers lied to them. They had them thinking, no, No. You know what? If you're a boy, crying's for pussies. That's what their parents had them thinking. If you're a girl, oh, you know what? Don't worry about these dudes. Just get what you can get out of them, and that's it. See, those are the kind of mothers who raise these females, okay? Because I've seen mothers like this. They raise their daughters to say, you know what? Screw these dudes. They're nothing but dogs anyway. So I'm just going to get what I can get out of them and use them and lie to them and then spit them out. Meantime, they're raising their daughters to be like this. And what's going to end up happening is that their daughters are going to do it to the wrong man. Going to do it to the wrong man. And this is why, also, when I mentioned it in my sip chat video, this is why there's a lot of femicide going on too. Because of females who think like that. Yes, they're all about get that bag. Fully conscious when you smeared my name publicly and privately. And you know what's interesting, Adrena? When I went through what I went through, I had the opportunity. Listen, guys, I had the opportunity to do things to exact revenge. But why am I going to do that? Why am I going to do that? I'm not going to do any of that. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he's a piece of shit. He's this, he's that, or whatever. I'm not going to say any of that. Okay? That's not me. I went and took it upon myself to tell God, to ask God, take care of this, please. Please take care of this, because I need to work on me. I got to work on my healing. Okay? But amazingly enough, if you notice, they will surround themselves. They will surround themselves with other toxic people. They'll surround themselves with toxic behaviors. They'll surround themselves with toxic people. They'll surround themselves with substance abuse. I mean, anything to fill a void, because they're walking voids. And no matter how much they try, they're never going to be satisfied. They're never going to be happy. And at the end of the day, listen, a lot of you who are survivors, you dodged a bullet. You dodged serious bullets, guys. So keep that in mind. Yes, indeed. The female narc's mom is also a narc sociopath, just like her. That's why the female narc's dad left the family over 10 years ago. Yeah. I mean, come on. Listen, because it could go either way. And I emphasize on this. Men do get abused by female narcissists. There are men out there who get abused by them. There are men out there who endure the abuse by these types of females. The sad part about it is that with these females, with their existence, us women who are the total opposite of these females, we get the shitty end of the stick. Because now they do all of this to these different guys, and one day you just happen to run across them. They're attracted to you, you're attracted to them, you guys, have a nice little connection going on, but because that person is screwed up in the head because of dealing with a female like this, all of that trauma, coupled with the trauma of their caregivers, gets projected onto you. It gets put onto you. So if she cheated on him with someone else, he's paranoid, because obviously, guys, I know how you guys are when it comes to a woman cheating. And let me tell you something. It's, honestly speaking, I get it. Trust me, I totally get it, because, it's about your manhood. I completely understand it. But because she goes and she does these things to him, if he's dealing with you, naturally he has trust issues. His trust issues are through the roof. He's extremely guarded. I get it. But at the end of the day, I never understood, for me, I never understood people who have extreme trust issues. Why get involved in situations? Why put yourself to be in a position to get involved with someone if clearly your trust issues are through the roof? That's something you need to work on. We all have trust issues, but of course, it's to a certain extent. Yes, absolutely. Adrena says, you know, we covered the basis on our channels regarding the exposure of both male and female narc demons. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, guys, just give me 1 second. I just want to go up because I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Alicia says, this shows their cruelty. They know that any normal person wants to understand what is going on when they feel their partner pulling away. Yeah. When you begin to, because you gotta remember what I told you guys. Upon a discard, okay, it's gonna go one of two ways. Either one, the situation's not filling them, you know, they're not filling up their supply, it's not fulfilling, and I do that in quotation marks because, you know, you can't fulfill them. It's not giving them the supply that they've anticipated, or, you know, it's just not doing it for them anymore. Or two, they have it incepted in their brain that you're going to leave. And, you know, you can't leave me. I leave you. You can't tell me when it's over. I tell you when it's over. So because narcissists are inherently paranoid, they run those accusations on you. They're constantly, you know, are you fucking around? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Blah, 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 boom, 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 or whatever. Clearly, that's some deep-rooted issues that they have. And they are the types, I mean, listen, as crazy as this sound, their arrogance is through the roof, but they're fragile. It's crazy. Like, your arrogance is through the roof. How you project, how you portray your arrogance is just crazy. But your ego is so fragile that the slightest criticism, there's not even, let's take it up a notch. Not even a criticism, but a flaw that you know you have, that I know you have. If I was to sit there and factually state a flaw that you have, that will bruise their ego so badly. That will bruise their ego so badly. If you were to insult them, if you were to criticize them, if you were to judge them, their egos, and that's the kryptonite right there, guys. That right there, their egos. Their egos are so fragile. And if you know who they are, and they know you know who they are, and they know that you know who they are, and you have the power to completely stomp all over their ego and stomp all over their arrogance, completely stripping them butt ass naked in front of everybody, they are not gonna chance it with you. They're not. Adrena, so glad the female narc is long out of my life, even though she still stalks and harasses me and my friends. You know, and that, Adrena, she's clearly a sad case. Clearly a sad case. Okay. Listen, I don't, you know, I told you, I don't shame people. I don't, you know, but I call a spade a spade. Okay. I always call a spade a spade. I'm not going to shame you, but if you're doing something grimy, if you're doing something that's not cool, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to let everybody know, because at the end of the day, you know, you can wear your mask for everybody, but I already see through it. I already see through it, okay? I see through the filters. I see through the MAC makeup. I see through all the bullshit. And at the end of the day, if you are sitting here shaming people, yet, okay, because they do it covertly. Female narcs do it covertly. They do it extremely covertly. You ever notice these females that they'll put up like certain posts, and you can sit there and wonder, oh, you know, who are they directing it to, or if they're throwing indirects. I mean, listen, I'll come with it, guys. I snitched on my, and at the end of the day, I don't care. Me personally, I don't care. But I said it. You know, my ex was, you know, friends with his ex, and I'm like, yeah, she's your friend, huh? She's your friend. Okay. She's your friend. So your friend is here putting up all kinds of posts on social media, shaming your name. But she's your friend. She's putting up all kinds of crap because mutual friends and family members follow the two of you, watch the two of you, but she's your friend. And I've seen everything she was doing. I saw every bit that she was doing. And at the end of the day, I see it this way. Hi, Anna. Hi, sweetie. Oh, Butch. Okay, Butch. Well, my experience, because I never had any experience of any of this, abuse is sometimes substituted word for manipulated. No, yeah. I mean, listen, people tend to think the word abuse means physical. Well, if it's physical abuse, then yeah, you've been abused. A lot of people have a hard time believing emotional abuse, psychological abuse, because they can't see it, touch it, taste it, smell it. They can't do any of it. So obviously, it's like to say it's your word against theirs. It's and I tell people when I do my sessions, or when I'm just talking in general with you guys, I tell people, in order to disarm manipulative, toxic people, you have to get them to expose themselves. You have to get them to expose themselves. Some people might not believe you. You could have been in a relationship for 5, 10, 15 years where there was nothing but emotional and mental abuse, no physical abuse. And some people may, turn back and say, well, if you were being emotionally and mentally abused, why didn't you just leave? Hello, fucker. If I knew I was being emotionally and mentally abused, I would have left a long time ago. Don't you think? Like, seriously, if I knew these things, I would have left a long time ago. But that's the whole point of being emotionally and mentally abused. You don't know these things. You don't know this is being done to you until you actually break free from the dynamic and understand what it is that you had been going through. People tend to look at it like, oh, well, did they put their hands on you? No. So then you weren't abused. Give me a second, guys. I'm putting the charger in. Did they put their hands on you? No. Well, then you weren't abused. No, that doesn't mean that I wasn't abused. I was verbally abused. I was emotionally abused. I was mentally abused. I was spiritually abused. And yet, because people who don't understand it, two, people who can't see signs of abuse, they think, well, it's all in your head. That's all it is. And that's where people get yeah, that's where people get the idea of this isn't real. You're making things up. It's just made up in your head. You're overthinking things, or maybe you're just looking too much into things. No, I think the problem is that we weren't looking into things enough. That's the problem. An overthinker, listen, an overthinker is just someone who likes to be safe. You understand? I like to be safe. I'm an overthinker. I like to be safe. I like to make sure that I didn't hear what I just heard. I like to make sure I didn't see what I just saw. I like to make sure of these things. And if it means me sitting here another half hour thinking about it, then yeah, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to recalculate it in my head, because this is my heart we're talking about. This is my mind we're talking about, my spirit. God didn't give me all of this for another person who clearly allowed the devil to just toy with them to come in and put that on me. No. Adrena, I can't stand a gaslighter. Yeah. Yep. And as many people have been gaslighting, like I hadn't even known, honestly, I didn't even know what gaslighting was until I started going to therapy, because I was like totally clueless. Guys, if you never studied psychology and you had no idea, trust me, you're not the only one, because I didn't even know. And I would just like sit there and, I would talk to my best friend, like, about what I was going through. And she mentioned it. She mentioned the word a few times. She was like, yo, that mofo is gaslighting you, Erica. And I'm like, what the hell is gaslighting me? I never heard of it. When I looked it up, I was like, what? Really? Okay. Because we all have that one friend that we talk to, just to kind of make sure that we're not going crazy. Because at that time, we think that we are going crazy. Hi, Jade. I'm so glad you came. Drina, listen, I didn't know what gaslighting was either until 2020 and this whole narc experience. Yeah. Heather, just give me 1 second. Okay. Why do they have flying monkeys hoover you if they know you know who they are and they have new supply? Sometimes, Heather, I think sometimes it's maybe to test the waters. It's to test the waters. Like, they know for a fact, in your case, she knows for a fact that she had an effect on you. She knows for a fact that you have put up with her for quite some time, for a few years. They like to test the water to see more or less where you are. Excuse me. They want to see where you are to see if there's even a possibility, if they are, if they may succeed in hoovering you. Okay? Because not many victims educate themselves. Not many victims, are in that survivor stance, or in that survivor mode. You have victims that are still currently stuck. They're stuck. You have victims that are in denial. You have victims that even watch the narcissist. You have victims that are still reactive towards a narcissist, even though they may have been separated for God knows how long. There are so many different types of victims. When you have reached survivor mode, at the end of the day, even if she knows, like if you were in victim mode, even if she knows that she's a narc, she can still look at it as, I need to try to find a way to be strategic. Okay? Being strategic by maybe possibly showing you that she's going for help. I acknowledge I have a problem, Heather. I acknowledge something's wrong. And look, I'm going for help. I'm going to therapy. And because we made a point about this last week, guys, narcissists watch narcissist videos too. They watch narc videos too. They watch people who educate on narcissism. They watch people's movements. They study they study people. They study people. So if they want to try to be a step ahead of you, if they want to try to utilize a different approach in regards to manipulating the dynamic, manipulating you, then first thing is first, they have to test the waters. They send people to contact you to see what your reaction is going to be. They may send a family member. They may send a friend. They may send their best friend. They may send, they may create a fake page. They may try to, because one of the things I've noticed when it boils down to it is that in a way they're very patient. Like, even if they have new supply, they're dabbling with their new supply, but they still watch you. They still watch you. They still watch what it is you're doing. They still may stalk you. They may, listen, for all I know, they could be walking behind you and you don't really notice them because they're wearing a disguise. I don't know. But they do still watch you, because at the end, it's like they already know. A narcissist already knows that new supply is not going to last them long. Whether it be they're gonna discard the new supply, or the new supply is going to discard them. They already know that it's not going to last. Listen, if you were a narcissist and this has been your life, your entire life, you're running through people like it's a freaking, a marathon. You're running through people throughout your life. You inherently know this isn't going to last long, because either I'm going to get bored with this person, or this person's going to get tired of my shit. A narcissist knows that their new relationships aren't going to last very long, because they're either going to do something to really screw it up, or they're just going to get bored with the person. They're going to get bored with the dynamic. you have a lot of narcissists who need to have like constant excitement. They need to have constant, it's just like, like, can you just sit down for a second? Can you sit down for a second and just relax? And the minute you tell them that, oh, you're trying to control me. You're trying to tell me what to do. You're trying to tell me where to go. What are you talking about? I just relax. Relax. Chillax. Hold on one second. Heather, my ex wasn't that smart. That but the thing is that when it boils down to narcissists, I mean, they may be crazy, but they try to do things very strategically. So, something, at the end of the day, Heather, don't fall asleep on that. Don't fall asleep on that, because they can give you the impression that they're not smart. They can give you the impression that, they are clueless, but the reality is they're very, up here, they're a lot smarter than you think. Trust me. They are a lot smarter. I mean, and you're welcome, Andrea. You're very welcome. Constant drama and yeah, it's a pattern for them. Yes. Yes. It's like, I for some reason, you know what? It's kind of like, you know how, like, you would want to keep a relationship exciting. You want to keep a relationship like new. You just kind of want to keep the flame going in the relationship. No, for someone who's toxic, what's exciting for them is creating chaos. It's creating, what's the word for it? Friction. It's like creating an uncomfortable dynamic. And it's because, if you've ever noticed, like, you could be in a good mood, you could be in a really, really good mood, and you're just like, yeah, I'm in a good mood, I'm very cordial, I'm just chilling, I'm relaxed and having, and it's just always something with them. Always something, like, they're very, like, as soon as they come into your presence, it's like your mood kind of, because you can feel it. You can feel, like, as soon as they walk in the room, if they got a face on, or if they're just like, and you're like, what's the matter? What's the matter with you? And it's like, yes, Discord. Thank you, Adrena. Thank you. Indigo, fishing to see if I would bring him up, I think, especially since the first one started off with specifically bringing him up to start the conversation. You know what's interesting, Indigo? I had, there was someone who was messaging me on Instagram, and oddly enough, they were, they messaged me. I knew it was a fake page, okay? And it was clearly it was a fake page, because the profile picture was like one of those meme pictures, had no followers, and they weren't following anyone. And they messaged me on Instagram. So they were like, hey, I follow your content, and, I think what you're doing is great, blah, 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 whatever. And I have to be discerning with certain people, because, I don't know. And I don't want to curse someone out who's really a victim, and, like, feed information to someone who's not. So I played it very carefully, and they were giving me their story, and I was like, and I was just kind of like bringing in my situation. But how I did it was, at that time, I did not give them very pertinent, like, very extreme details. And I made it clear in the conversation that, this is my opinion of it. Like, I'm not a doctor, so I can't diagnose this person. But if I could guess, this person is, suffering PTSD. So, I made that clear, that I think, my ex suffers PTSD. I think he is an inverted narcissist, where he is a codependent narcissist who is mostly drawn to relationships with other narcissists, who prefers a dynamic, whether family or relationships, with other narcissists. That appears to be more normal for him. So, long story short, this person was telling me their story, giving me, information, and I was paying attention to words. I was paying attention to I actually screenshot, I still have it. I screenshot every bit of conversation we were having. Then you know, she says, I'm assuming it was a she because the person she was referring to was a male. Um, but she says, I have a fake page because I don't want my family or my friends, you know, that was the key thing that I was paying attention to. She did tell me, she was forthcoming in saying she had a fake page. However, the reason she told me, that was what didn't make sense to me. I have a fake page because I don't want my friends and family to know what's going on in my life. And I'm thinking to myself, you don't follow me on Instagram, okay? You're sending me a private message. Your friends and family would not know that you are in contact with me if you sent it from your personal page. So why would you create a fake page? That didn't make sense to me at all. You don't have to follow me. If you want to send me a DM, that's fine. But doing it from a fake page as opposed to your own personal page, so I could not see your identity, so I could not see who you really were. And I had noticed during that time, there were several fake pages monitoring my account. And I know this because when I would put up photos on my Instagram stories, these fake pages were all viewing my stories. Anna, have any of you noticed that the atmosphere changes when the narcissist walks in? Oh, okay, almost froze for a second. But it seemed red flaggish. It really did. And and there were certain things. Um, yeah, Adrena, it was, and I noticed these fake pages were monitoring, they were watching my stories, watching, you know, the pictures I would put up. Fake pages started following me. There was few of them that had no followers. They were not following anyone else but me. So I would look at their list of who they're following, and I was the only one who popped up. So I was like, all right, you know what? If we're gonna start playing this game, understand something. I'm a very sweet person, guys. You guys know that. You guys know I got nothing but love for all of you. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I can be a very, very savage person. I can be very savage with my words, and I can be very savage when it comes to the truth. And I hadn't heard from that person for a few months. Then, like, it was like maybe 3 months, not even 3 months later, that person hit me up again. And they were telling me all kinds of stuff about what was going on and so forth and so on. Then it started turning from that into asking me personal questions, asking me questions about my ex, asking me questions about my experience, their family, blah, 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 or whatever the case may be. I basically made it clear because when the situation that happened between me and my ex happened, I disconnected from social media. I just fell off. I said, nope, I'm not dealing with, you know, like I said, he put the nail in the coffin with me when he decided to remingle with his ex, his kid's mother. When I came back, I didn't know what was going on, guys, because I was not paying attention to him. I was not stalking him. I was not watching him. I was not doing anything. When I came back and I decided to reactivate all my accounts, what did I see? Erica's honest with you. Erica went looking. I'm like, well, let's see what's been going on. And I went to his ex's account. And all I saw was her shaming him. Just shaming him, like, you know, all kinds of stuff, doing all kinds. And people were feeding into it. Flying monkeys were feeding into it. She was putting up posts about the ex. She was putting up all kinds of stuff, talking about him, putting up all kinds of things or whatever the case may be to gain attention. She was trying to get attention from everyone else. I think he blocked her because whatever situation happened between the two of them, he ended up blocking her. She was putting up different posts, oh, blocking people for pussies or some shit like that. She was just doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm sitting there because I was in the midst of my healing. Erica was gone for like 5 months. I'm sitting there and I'm laughing. And I said, you know something? If you think you can gain off of someone else's failure, you're fucking wrong, son. You're wrong. And at the end of the day, I'm how you get them is how you lose them. You understand? And how you lose them, I mean, listen, there was a lot that went on between the two of them. But my point of it was, you were banking on me failing with him in this relationship. And that's fine, because people, guys, people are going to be on the outskirts throwing shade at your relationship, jealousy, casting crap at you, throwing bad energy, throwing all kinds of stuff towards you, okay? And at the end of the day, my take of it was, if you had bad intentions, okay, because listen, while I was healing, God was dealing. You understand? Let me say that again, because I love the way it came out. While I was healing, God was dealing, okay? And he knows. He knows. And at the end of the day, she thought, you know what? You ain't in it no more. I'm going to creep my way back in there. Were they messing around, guys? I don't know. I don't assume things. I don't know. I do not know. Okay? Yes, Adrena, pure, yes. And you know what? I looked at all of that. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel hurt. I didn't feel pain. I didn't feel crying. I didn't feel none of that. I'm sitting there like, yo, everything that everybody does. See, people tend to think that actions don't have consequences, that, you could just throw things under the rug and that's it. No, it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. And at the end of the day, if you think, and I mean this for anybody, guys, for anyone, this is why I say do things with a genuine heart. Because if you think you're going to gain success off of someone else's failure, off of someone else's pain, you got another thing coming to you. Because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And at the end of the day, listen, for all I know, if he hit it and quit it, I don't know. Can't say all that, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, all that goes on, because I already saw what type of female she was. And you guys already know she's a female narc herself. She's done a lot of grimy stuff. A lot of grimy stuff. And I'm saying it. Yes, I'm saying it. I'm calling it out there. She has done a lot of grimy stuff. And she has emasculated that man to the point where he didn't, he just did not believe in love anymore. But to continuously try to, to lure them back in, to continue. This is why I tell you guys, be very careful, because looking at Adrena, this is why I feel your situation. This is why I understand your situation well, because I had not known what a female narcissist was about until I saw the situation, until I started putting two and two together. And I'm saying to myself, oh, wait a minute. But this was how she was with the last dude, and this is how she was with other dude. Oh, so this is what you do. This is what they do. They give that false appearance. They put that false mask on. They show the entire world, that they're classy, and, I'm a classy woman, and I'm this and I'm that. I'm very sophisticated, and I'm elegant, and I'm smart, and I'm all of this, okay? They give this false impression to the world, and those people who are blinded are believing it. They're believing it. But you got me now, who's looking at it like, you a fake bitch. That's what you are. You are a fake. I'm trying to stay calm with that, because I'm really trying to calm down with the cursing. But yeah. Oh, Anna, yes, they do. They do, when they wear the mask. And I saw everything she was doing. I saw everything. I saw what she was, I saw the shaming. I saw the bandwagoners, when those little flying monkeys, everybody's, oh, ha, 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 he, yeah, blah, blah, just entertaining her. Entertaining her. And it's so sad that females like this exist. And what was even more sad was that I was compared to this female. Me. I was compared to her. I was compared to someone who poses for the world, yet she's really a fake broad. And I've called it out. I've called it out, because if there were fake pages being made trying to figure me out, fake pages being made trying to know about me, fake pages being, well, guess what? They know about me. Everybody knows about me. His family knows about me. She knows about me. He knows about me. Everybody knows about me. I do not, and I said it before, I'll say it again, I don't shame people, but I will call someone out. I will call someone out, because wrong is wrong. And at the end of the day, he and I may have gone through what we went through, but you still don't do certain things, and I'm to this day, I stick with it. I stick with it. Will I shame him? No. Because me shaming him would be me insulting him, me plastering him out there, and me hurting his, hurting him to the point where it's like, it's just what a grimy chick would do. And that's not me. But me telling my story, that's me helping other people. So that way they know what to look for if anything does happen in the future. Yes, we do, Adrena. I actually got an email, Erica, a pic of her and some other receipts. Adrena. Now I'm kind of tempted because female narcissists are known to, it's crazy. I think that's probably like the typical, but female narcissists are known to be, and this is what they're classified as. They're known to be the types of females that have like that femme fatale type of demeanor, like, that exotic look, that look that just instantly draws men in, or women, but that just draws people in, and it just kind of like has them on their knees. And that's what a lot of female narcissists, but it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be. Alicia, don't hurt yourself now. You're spitting out coffee. Is not even roach face. Is not even exotic. She isn't. You'll see. She just has deceptive charm. You have people that I mean, yeah, if people don't really get by on their looks, but they use charm, they use, which female narcissists are known to do that. They're known to use charm. I think this is one of the reasons why it's hard for a lot of men to decipher the difference between a genuine woman and, of course, a female narcissist, because a female narcissist actually studies a genuine woman. They study how the mannerisms, they study certain things. That's all they do, is they study people. Since they have no authenticity, since they can't be genuine people, they study other people who are genuine. They learn the different mannerisms and the different things of these types of women, and they basically project that. So they're like human projectors. They project what they study to give the false impression to these men or women. Well, this is why, this is who I am. Reality of it is, they are nowhere near that. Nowhere near it. Adrena, she siphoned my personality and still can't rightfully and properly be me. No, they'll never get it. They'll never perfect it. They'll never perfect it. These types of females don't compare to the type of women that we are. They don't compare. And they'll sit there and say, well, why would I want to be like you? I don't need to compare. No, you could never be like me. You could never be like me. Okay? I know what type of person you are. I know what type of female you are. At the end of the day, I literally, at that time, guys, when I was going through the motions, and this was before I learned everything I learned, I tried warning my ex. I tried. But you know what? It is what it is. That was years ago, and it was what it was. And I said, anything that happens from this point on is none of my dealings, none of my doings, none of my business. Okay? I already saw everything I needed to see. So at the end of the day, that was what you chose to do. That was who you chose to go run into. I don't care. If people could sit there and tell me nothing happened, I don't care. I don't care. Because if and it was kind of like weird to me, because in learning, again, I'm not, he told me a lot of things in confidence. He did tell me a lot of things in confidence that it doesn't bear repeating, but I did not understand. That was another thing. I didn't understand. I don't understand if you're not a narcissist, right? And you claim that certain situations happened in your relationship, certain things happened in your relationship. I'm sorry, but me personally, I don't see any reason to being friends with people who shit on me. you know? And if someone tells me, well, you know, Erica, this person, you know, yeah, they shitted on me, they did X, Y, and Z to me, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, and you're still friends. Why? Why is that? Like someone misuses your trust, someone misuses your loyalty, someone deceives you, someone does X, Y, and Z to you. Why? I mean, it doesn't even have to be an ex. It could just be anyone in general. Why would you still be friends with someone like that? Why would you still consider, you know, oh, well, you know, you got to learn to forgive. I forgive, but I still don't understand the point and why. Why? I never understood that. But in learning what I learned, now I understand. Okay. I call the people copycats and wannabes. Yes, Anna. Yes. Because they imitate other people. They try to be like other people because they don't have identities. They don't have their own sense of identity. They give this false, like, one of the things I notice is they give this impression, and I notice this with a lot of people. It doesn't have to just be a, excuse me, a narcissist, but I notice that like they look to do certain things to gain some form of a reaction, no matter what they may be. So like they're prepared to deal with whatever reaction they get. So if they have the flying monkeys, they're prepared to, you know, be, you know, graciously humble with, you know, appreciation and so forth and so on. But if they get the backlash, they prepare themselves for that too, because they always try to give the impression, you know, like if you notice, they like to insult people. I never understood like putting up posts and things like that, trying to insult other people or try to throw indirects at other people. I mean, personally, I'm very directive. I'm like, I don't need to throw indirects at anybody, but they'll throw indirects, and if someone, you know, says something about it, they'll make that person appear like, they'll make that person a target. So if you do not agree with them, or if you do not comply with them, they will make you a target. They will make you like you're an enemy, and all their you know, their monkeys will come gunning for you. Like, they'll make it seem like you're the one who's insulting them, you're the one being disrespectful to them, you're the one who is, you know, can't handle their strong personality. So they pretty much send everybody in your direction. And of course, the person who, you know, says something is obviously clueless as to what's going on, because they're not expecting that. But of course, people who, you know, who educate themselves on these types of people already know, you come for me, I'm gonna come back for you. So you try to bite me, go ahead, but I'm gonna bite you even harder, you know? And when it boils down to it, if you notice, with, you know, very, very smart people, people who are well aware of the mental health issues and the personality disorders and the different types of narcissists, sociopaths, you know, what have you, they won't really, they don't come for people like that. They don't come for people that are very smart on this. They don't come for people because they know that if they do come for you, you'll end up exposing them beyond belief. You'll end up exposing them beyond belief. So they usually just go for people that seem more, you know, shy and timid, and, you know, that are not, they're not hip to the game. You know what I'm saying? They're not hip to what's going on. They go for people that they really feel like they can possibly control and possess and really just drag them down. You know, so when it boils down to me, you know, people would ask me, you know, aren't you worried about what? Worried about what? Well, somebody might say something. The fuck do I care? I'm not a narcissist. I don't care what people think. Okay? A narcissist cares what people think. That's why they have to wear a mask. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. I don't wear a mask. Okay? There's a big difference. Authentic people, we don't care. We don't. We don't care about others' opinions. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not going to bite your head off about it, but we don't care what people think. We don't need to walk around pretending to be something that we're not. I don't walk around pretending to be something I'm not. I'm still the same person. I'm just more evolved than I used to be. And I'm just more, you know, I wised up. But a narcissist, they care way too much what other people think. So if there's any chance of them being exposed in any way, shape, or form, They are not going to cross that bridge. They will not cross that line with you guys. They will not cross it. And I went through that at my job with coworkers. It was a pack of 5 people. I refused to join their clique. They were so angry that I saw through them, and that I believe in God, that made them more angry. And you continue to make them angry. Continue. Continue to do it. Continue. I walk with my head high, man. I walk with my head high. I walk with my head high knowing I've been through what I've been through, but it hasn't changed who I am. It changed me, but it changed me for the better. It changed me for the better. And, I don't hate anybody, because when you walk with God, you walk with God in your heart. You don't hate people. You feel the way you do. You feel upset. And guys, that's another thing. It's okay if you feel upset. It is all right if you feel angry about what you went through. It's perfectly fine. But you don't have to sit there like hating the person, or feeling like, I can't stand. No. Because that also gives them power. They want you to hate them. They want you to hate them. They want you to be like, hurting and being, they want, you want me to be honest with you, they want you to feel some kind of way about them. They want you to be nasty. They want you to be similar to them, because that lets them know that they still affect you. That lets them know they still have control over your emotions, over your feelings, over your thoughts. That lets them know that you still have them. No, no, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. I don't have love for them, but I don't hate them. I don't hate them. I don't wish bad on them. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. But, don't feel bad for choosing to be your own person, and don't feel bad for choosing to go your own way. Everything, listen, let's put it this way. Rejection is God's protection. All right? Because God saw what you were going through, and he saw what you were going to go through if you had stayed around. He saw what you were going through and what you were going to go through if you stayed any longer than what you did. So if you see them, you bump into them, whatever the case may be, you know what you do? You say thank you. You say thank you. Show gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for screwing up. Thank you for letting that mask fall down. Thank you for showing me who you are. Thank you, because now you showing me who you are and you doing everything you did has put me in a position to really being who I'm truly meant to be. You can't let them, have any kind of, and like I said, if you feel upset, it's perfectly fine. Till this day, guys, I'm not even going to lie about it. I have every right to feel it. I'm still, I still feel the way I do. But I'm not out there, harassing people. I'm not out there, going around people's houses, slashing tires, doing X, Y. I'm not doing any of that shit. No, I'm not. And it's because of the fact that I feel this way that's been keeping me going. It's everybody internalizes their healing and everything. They internalize it differently. Me, I throw on some rap music and I just let the anger like kind of walk in front of me, because the anger is what really keeps me protected, basically. Hate does take energy, Alicia. It does. It definitely does. They don't deserve hate. I feel like it was a time I didn't know this demon. I'm going right back to it. My victory is getting the lesson and not looking back. Absolutely. But you could have that put on a Narc Buster shirt. Rejection is God's protection. Let pictures be in. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it definitely is, Butch. It definitely is, Listen, when they were pushing you away, when they were yelling, when they were screaming, when they were being nasty, when they were doing all of those things to you, this was pretty much God's way of showing you, you still want this? It's pretty much what God's telling you. Okay, you still want that? Because you do have free will, guys. You always do. But that was his way of saying, I'm showing you. I've been showing you red flags ever since. If you guys been with them for a long period of time, God's like, listen, I've been showing you along the way different red flags, because every time a mask, you know, if it's slipping, the red flags come out. The red flags come out. They come out. And you're and don't blame yourselves for it, guys. Don't blame yourselves for not seeing it. Don't blame yourselves for, you know, not actually coming to terms with things, you know, sooner. Don't blame yourselves for that. You just have to say to yourself, now I know better. Next time, I know better. You know, I can't speak for everyone. I truly cannot speak for everyone, but I can say this, guys, okay? In dealing with what I've had to deal with throughout my life, okay? And it's not, you know, said in a joking, like to be joking about it, but honestly speaking, you know, everyone knows I am a heterosexual woman. Honestly, in dealing with the experiences that I've gone through, I can truthfully say that I understand why a lot of straight women turn to other women. I can truthfully say that. I understand. I understand why. You know, I have female friends. You know, I have female friends, I have gay friends, but I was truthfully like thinking that to myself. I was like, yo, I can really understand why. And you know, you have men who are like, you know, well, you have women that are dating other women. You have women that are, because I understand. I really, really do. I mean, me personally, I'm staying solo. I'm just staying to myself. But I can really, really understand. I really, really do. And it's no offense to you guys, you know, to you survivors, to you good men out there. I'm not knocking any of you. I'm basically saying this based on my own experiences. So I don't speak for other women. I don't. But I can truthfully understand why. Because, you know, the connection, it's, you know, it's 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 just a lot different. It really is. And I have not had many female friends growing up, so in light of the fact that I have, you know, my good friend Amanda, I have my other friends, my other friend, one of my best friends, you know, my childhood friends, and learning that we connect emotionally on so many different levels. I truthfully understand why. I can, you know, understand it. And it's just really, it's I don't want to say sad. It's kind of like bittersweet, because it's like, you know, you want to establish a relationship with someone. Nobody wants to be alone, guys. Who wants to be alone? Nobody wants to be alone. You know, we would all love to have a relationship, a normal, healthy, toxic free relationship. Unfortunately, it's just so common nowadays, and it's just so crazy how things can seem normal one minute and it just totally flips upside down the next minute. And it's like, yo, what? Like, that's my, like, what? I'm to a point, I don't want to date. I don't want to be involved with anybody. I'm just like, nope, don't want to do it, you know? And that's how much being in a toxic dynamic with people who you have not done anything to, when, you know, being a codependent, being a non-codependent, just looking for love, that's what it turns you to. It turns you to someone who just, you don't even want to be bothered. You don't want to be bothered with love. You don't want to bother with it. You just want to be, you just want to be alone. You're like, yo, I'm safer alone. I'm safer by myself. If I get hurt, the only one who's responsible for it is me. Because you just, you know, this type of experience puts you in a position where you just don't feel like you can trust anybody. You can't trust anyone. He did for me what I could. Yeah, God definitely does for us what we can't do for ourselves, because he reminds us that he's here. He reminds us that we don't have to do it alone. We don't have to take, all we have to do is call on him. That's all we have to do. It's so simple. Call on me. I'm here. Okay? God has been here for me more than people on this earth have been for me. And to this day, he's the only one I really trust. He's really the only one I trust. Alicia, it was like God was telling me all I have given you and all I want for you is the best. Absolutely. This is not my best for you. Let him go. Yes. And you notice how hard it is. It's hard, Alicia. It's really hard because what's not good for us, because we've been so intertwined with the addiction, the patterns, we've been like with the being complacent, being in that dynamic with someone. It is hard to let it go. And a lot of the time, let's be realistic on some things. A lot of people don't pray because they're afraid of the answer they're going to get. A lot of people are afraid to trust that what God has for them is, no, let me rephrase that. People go based off of desires, off of what they want, rather than what they need. God says, I'm here to give you what you need, what I know is best for you. And God is a parent, right? He's a parent, he's a father. So he is going to give you, he's going to present to you what it is that you need. But if what it is that he knows you need doesn't align with what it is you think you want, you're going to end up denying him. And you're going to end up losing out on something that could have been more beneficial for you, because you're human, guys. We're all human. We're not perfect. God knows that. He knows that. Okay? But one of the 7 deadly sins is lust. All right? And at the end of the day, when you have that, like that inner desire burning within you, it tends to cloud your judgment. It does cloud your judgment, because that's your loins are talking, your body is talking, your flesh is talking. When it's something, when you're willing to accept God and you're willing to accept what he knows is best for you, your spirit is talking. There's a big difference. There's a huge difference. Okay, your spirit talks to and aligns with what God is putting in your life and what he wants for you. Your body and your desires and your flesh are talking when it's something else. Okay? And it's like I said, you guys are human. We're all human. We all make mistakes. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. So don't beat yourself up about it. It does happen. We've all fallen into that trap. We've all done it. It happens. It is what it is. But absolutely, Alicia, it's, Adrena, and it's totally fine and understandable to be in a place to want to be single and content. Yeah. Yeah, it is absolutely fine. It's perfectly fine. And mind you, I was someone who was, I loved love. I loved just, I'm not going to lie, when I was in my relationship, yeah, I loved being there. I loved being in the relationship with him. There were sides of him that I had seen that just connected most with me, you know. And interestingly enough, the other day I was going through my photo album. I had to delete videos and stuff because I had to upload the sip chat video. That's how long it was. And I found old pictures. I thought I had gotten rid of all the pictures in my phone. And I found old pictures that were stored somewhere. I didn't even realize they were in there. And I noticed in these pictures, every picture I did not see one smile. Not one smile. If I would pick up my phone and say, hey, let me take a picture of you, it would just be like that, like that mean mug. And I noticed that throughout a lot of different pictures. I have not seen one smile. And I'm like, and it was crazy because, being with him, that was one of the things that, I loved his smile. But it was like, all the pictures, not one freaking smile. It was just like he looked miserable. He looked miserable. He looked like he just did not like life. He just looked like, you know what, it's just a shitty life. And I noticed that in every picture. And luckily it didn't trigger me. They didn't trigger me. I just deleted them. I took them out of my phone. But that was another indication. When you have someone, you're taking pictures with them, you're trying to have good times with them and create good memories, and they're just like, They just looked disgusted. He looked disgusted in the pictures. And I'm like, and at that time, when I remembered it, I'm thinking to myself, at that time, I'm the reason you feel disgusted. I'm the reason you look so upset. I'm the reason you're acting this way. You know, don't do that. Don't do that, guys. Jade, why does it seem like narcissists are becoming more common? You know what, Jade? I don't think they're becoming more common. I just think they're being exposed. Narcissism is being exposed more. It's been, narcissism has been going on for so long. It's been going on for, it's a generational thing if we think about it. It's a generational thing. I think that it's just really being put out there more. It's being put out there more. Victims are coming out. Victims are exposing it. Victims are talking about it. Victims are coming together and saying, nope, that's it. It's enough. It's, listen, we'll round about the numbers of almost 200 million people who become victims of narcissistic abuse. And this is not something that just happened yesterday. You know what I'm saying? This is something that's been going on for a long, long time. Codependency, narcissism, sociopathy, psychopathy. It's been going on for a long time. But because we now are exposing it more, we're opening up about it more. We're becoming more humble within ourselves, but we're expressing more, because a lot of victims, they don't come forward, especially male victims. Male victims, a lot of them don't come forward because they are afraid of, being judged. They're afraid of being looked at as, oh wow, you let a female play you, you let a female get over you, you let a female get over on you. And I strongly encourage more male victims to come forward. I strongly encourage men to even reach out and give their sides, of the story. I was going through old videos, and I remembered when I did the video on sons of narcissist mothers, and they said that male narcissists, are more common than female narcissists. And I really strongly believe that the only reason they say that male narcissism is more common than female narcissism, it's because females are more covert, and not many male victims are coming forward on the abuse, because they don't think, let's just say the female never put her hands on him, but she was emotionally abusing him, mentally abusing him, spiritually abusing him. They don't come forward with it. And yeah, I'm sorry. If we find ourselves affirming that narcs are everywhere, this may manifest in a person's reality and taint one's perspective of humanity as a whole, but we don't want to live in paranoia either. Absolutely. Especially male victims of no. Yeah. I'm personally so convinced that abusive men over the decades have been from female narcs, sociopaths, because of how stealthy. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, when it boils down to it, when you have men who are victims of narcissistic abuse, if you have a man that says, why am I constantly attracting females that are like this? Why am I constantly attracting a woman who is, hurting me, who is using me financially, using me, for personal gain, lying to me, abusing me? You got to stop for a second and say to yourself, because I strongly believe men who attract women like this, men who feel more drawn towards women like this, they're doing it because more than likely the female is representing their mother. The female is representing their mother, and more than likely their mother is a narcissist. When you have a mother who is a narcissist, if you're a man, you were already trained to accept that kind of behavior. You were already trained to consider that kind of behavior to be normal. So when you come in contact with a female narcissist, you're kind of like reliving it with your mom. only it's just with a female narc. She is a reflection of your mother, who is the female narcissist in your life. Anna, I was looking at the last family photos on my phone we took. All of the narc pictures were distorted. It looked like another face was in front of his face. In every picture, is that a form mask? In every picture, is that a form of mask falling? Well, I strongly believe, because when it boils down to narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, they're shapeshifters. They're shapeshifters. A lot of narcissists, I mean, everyone is different. You have narcissists who dabble in witchcraft. They dabble in, all types of, black magic, sorcery, what have you. And clearly, people who are narcissists, people who are sociopaths, psychopaths, or extremely narcissistic, toxic, manipulative, are people who have very, very bad entities surrounding them. Okay? To bring that on a spiritual level, they have very bad entities surrounding them. And that clearly is, yeah. The female narc calls herself a witch doctor. Yeah, I strongly think that when it boils down to that, they, you have people, these narcissistic people, these manipulative, and guys, we're not just limiting it to narcissism. We're taking it beyond with toxicity. These types of people have entities. They have dark energy. They have things surrounding them that it takes over them. It really takes over them. I had a moment where I don't even know if I can call it. It seemed like a psychotic episode with this person, and I didn't recognize them. I did not recognize them at all. It did not even seem like it was the same person that I had, had in my life for almost 3 years. This person completely didn't sound the same, didn't look the same. And as he was sitting in the car and I'm trying to talk to him, I'm crying, I'm upset, I'm just all types of stuff, trying to figure out what's going on. He's holding on to the steering wheel, and I can hear his hands gripping really hard on the steering wheel, like kind of like how can I refer it? Kind of like one of those like those killers on, on a scary movie or something, that's like wearing a mask, right? And he's gripping, and I just hear his hands gripping on the wheel really hard. And then it was his rage. I'm like, but can we just talk about this? What's going on? I mean, I'm just trying to understand. And he's like, you don't just, cursing me out, but he's just getting really heated. And it got really worse. But when I saw that he's just holding on to the steering wheel and he's gripping it hard, that his hands were like kind of shaking while he's holding on to it. And you just hear it. And mind you, he had no gloves on, nothing. It was his bare hands, guys. And you can hear it like just grinding against the steering wheel. I think that at that point, I was the most scared in my life. I was riddled with fear. Like, I had never felt fear the way I did when I was sitting in the car. And I looked at him, and his face, I couldn't recognize him. And it wasn't like, to me, I'm like, yo, this is not the person I fell in love with. This is not the person I knew. This was totally not the person I knew. I literally looked at a demon right in front of me. It was that anger, that rage, that hatred, everything was presenting itself in front of me. And there was a voice in my head that said, get out of the car. Get out of the car. And I listened to the voice. I was scared. That night, I was scared. I had never felt scared. And that was the first time I ever felt unsafe. That was the first time that I thought to myself, this man is going to kill me if I don't get out the car. Like, that was the scariest moment I ever had. And I never thought of this way about this person. I felt so safe with this person in the beginning. I felt safe with this person during. I felt safe with this person. But that night in the car, it was so scary. I said to myself, if I don't get out of this car, as angry as he's getting, and I could feel it. I could feel like I could just feel the darkness. I felt the darkness. That's how bad it was. I was so scared. I just got out the car. I got out of the car. I couldn't do it. Alicia, yeah, that narc rage is no joke. My ex did it to me. It looked like his whole bone structure changed. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I couldn't unsee it, Alicia. I could not. It scared me. It scared me. And the only thing I thought of was my son. I thought of my son because I said to myself, if I'm fighting for this person and they get like this, if they get like this around my son, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. And I said, no. There is no way I'm letting it happen. There is no way I'm letting it happen. It was crazy. It was crazy, guys. And it was scary. And it was a point in time where I said to myself, you are no longer who I thought you are. You're just a totally different person. That rage is crazy. That rage is crazy. Those demons are real. Those demons are extremely real. And it affects me emotionally because that was the first time that I could honestly say I have felt closest to the devil. Extremely close. And I never want to go through that again. Never want to go through it again. And I will never put my son through it. I would never put my son through it. And I said, you can have everything. You can go your own way. Go your own way. Be with who you want to be with. Do what you want to do. I don't care. I was done. From that point in the car, when I saw that, that was my confirmation. Even after, seeing him reconnect with the next, even after dealing with all of that, that point in the car, when they get so angry and so volatile to the point that you can literally feel that darkness coming from them. No. What's love? Love is not going to hurt me, physically hurt me. Love is not going to, do all of the things that he did. I said, no, I have to think about my son. My son was first priority. That was the one time where I actually had a bit of a sane moment within myself. I was with my daughter when my ex did it in the car. The terror on her face, oh my gosh. The terror on her face wasn't enough for me. We got out of the 50 miles away from home. That was oh my gosh. And I'm sorry, Alicia. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm sorry. This is my first time talking about that night. I didn't even want to talk about it because I was afraid it was going to trigger me and like I said, I guess part of me wasn't trying to give him a bad name. Part of me wasn't trying to portray him to be this monster, but the reality of it was that point in the car, the true monster came out. The true monster came out. And I said, no. After that is when he threatened to kill me. His black eyes. He was on drugs. I planned an escape and I left with my children. Thank God, Anna. Thank God. Yes. And the crazy, and Adrena, you know what? That moment, I had spoken with a close friend of mine about it, but that was the scariest moment, one of the scariest moments in my life. One other scary moment of my life was when I got into a car accident. And we all know, like, near-death experiences is scary. But that was so scary. I had never experienced that with anyone. Never. My thing was, I was afraid of what he would have done. And he never put his hands on me. He never in the entire relationship put his hands on me. He had never gotten that. He gotten angry before. We had words with each other. We had arguments, but he never, ever, ever put his hands on me. Never did any of that. But that point, that moment was where this is how you can get? This is how you can get? This is how bad it can get? Because if I just stayed, I don't even know what the hell would have happened. I don't even know. I might not. I don't know. I don't even want to think about what would have happened, because my little boy, my son, is all that matters to me. He's all that matters to me. If there's any man in this world that's going to drive me crazy that is allowed to do so, it's my 13-year-old son. That's it. Any other man? Nope. Save it for your mama. I don't have time for that. Adrena. I think so. I think so. And that's why I just said, you know what? This is not worth fighting for, especially if this is how you can get. Especially. And I'm almost sure, I'm almost positive none of his friends know of that side. I'm positive his family. Oh, it's my brother. I'm positive his family knows of that side. I'm positive of that much. But I know that people do not know that side of him. And if there are people who do know that side of him, it's very few people. Very few people. But I saw literally a demon sitting in front of me. Literally. So if you guys, and new people who are joining or new people who are coming in, if you think that these types of people do not have demons surrounding them, you need to think again, because that narcissistic rage can get very, very bad, very volatile. It can get very dangerous, okay? I'd say what else happened in the car, but you know what? I think if I do, I'm going to end up breaking down again in front of you guys, and I don't want to do that. But I'm here today. I'm alive. I'm here. I'm a survivor. I'm healing. I'm healthy. And I'm helping. And that's all that matters. Anna, you know what? They're going to continue. Let them. Let them. Let them continue talking, because people who listen to them and people who entertain them, people who are like, oh yeah, tell me more, tell me more. That's all it is. These people don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? People who believe the word of other people without actually knowing the truth of what happened. The only person who matters is God, because God saw everything. God saw everything, and he got you out of that. He was the only one who had your back. Those people that they're talking to, let them talk. Because you know what? Birds of a feather will always flock together. Yes, we did, Alicia. Yes, we did. We did make it, and we are here telling our story, and we are here helping other people, and we are here, we're surviving and we're thriving and we're getting through it, and that's what matters. That's what matters. That's what counts. We're, compared to the many who didn't make it, the many who couldn't, who weren't so lucky, the many who were just, they were not only victims of the abuse, but they became the victim of the ultimate point. Narcissists are not people to be playing with. They're not people to be joking with, okay? And at the end of the day, if his ex is a narcissist, she's more on a superficial level. She's more on the, you know what, I'm untouchable. I can say and do whatever I want. Nobody's going to do anything about it. She's going to meet the wrong one, and the wrong one is going to do something to her. That's going to be something that she brought upon herself. If he was a narcissist, same thing. I don't exact revenge on anybody, and I don't wish that upon anybody. You know, and people who sit there and say, oh, it's, you know, it was just a breakup, get over it, you know, it is what it is. They clearly do not understand. Please do not listen to them. Please do not listen to them. Do not listen to what other people say when it boils down to denying your abuse, when it boils down to negating your abuse. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. People try to tell you you're crazy. People try to tell you, you know, get over it. You know, you should, it's been how long? Do not listen to them. You know, you can still heal. You heal, you feel. You heal, you feel. That's perfectly fine. It's going to come and go. It's going to come and go until it leaves your system completely. But please do not listen to them. Um, Let me just, one more second. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, guys. This gets more, each and every time gets so much more emotional with you guys. But I appreciate you all. I do appreciate you. I seen the devil. Okay, Indigo, I seen the devil come out when my ex got to the point of physical abuse. My only thought was he's going to kill me. And you know something, Indigo, I'm glad you managed to get out of that. And I'm glad you managed to make it. And I'm glad you managed to be here with us. And I'm glad you managed to join us and share your side too. Share your story, because each and every one of you, your stories are helping somebody. Your stories are helping someone. Adrena, I was told to get over the female narc's betrayal a matter of only a couple of weeks post discard by fake friends. I quickly yeah, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Don't take betrayal lightly. Don't take it lightly. Okay? Because a lot of them, what they do is they do what they do, and then when it boils down to the narcissistic discard, because you're already brought down to your lowest point, they use that as a way to scare you, to frighten you. And it works. It does work, because you don't know what to expect. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what the next move is going to be. You don't know any of that. You just look at it like, I want to get close, but I can't because I'm afraid. I was afraid for a while, guys. I was afraid. Indigo, I'm glad you found us too. I'm glad you're here with us. I'm so glad. And when you get to know everyone in this room, because a lot of, you know, we have so many different people who come. There are actually more people, but they, you know, they can't make it to the chat. They watch it on the stream. You have a lot of awesome people here. A lot of awesome people here that are just so helpful and so supportive, and just so they're great people. You know, you can't ask for better people than the people that are in here, because they, you know, they just want to help each other out. They want to heal, but they want to help, and they want to, you know, help guide people. And that's what draws me to all of you guys. So you are definitely in good hands. You are definitely in good hands. Guys, that was a very emotional time for me. It really, really was very emotional for me. I had not spoken about that incident since, wow, this would be my first time in about almost 2 years. Almost 2 years I hadn't spoken about it. And it hit me. It did hit me, but you know what? It's okay, because you get knocked down, you get back up. That's what you do. Okay? And that's what we're here for. We may fall down, but Adrena, I definitely enjoyed you being here. Always enjoy it. I'm looking forward, guys. I'm going to be doing a collaboration with Adrena. I'm hoping maybe we can do it sometime this week, and we can really get down to the nitty-gritty of things. And you know, let her take over. Let her take the spotlight for a little bit. You know, you could do the talking. I'll sit here and sip my tea, listening. But guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much. As I can't wait too, Adrena. I definitely can't wait. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much for allowing me to all over again. You guys don't know how much I really appreciate it. And yes, absolutely. We're definitely going to be working on something, guys. Me and Adrena have been communicating with each other outside of YouTube, which is awesome. And we're going to try to set something up so that way, you know, you can get her side, you get her words of wisdom too. And she always helps me out when I'm stuck on words. So I definitely need her on my channel, and I need her with me. And, but I'm going to call it a night because I'm exhausted and I got to be up early in the morning. You guys are truly, truly an awesome crowd. You guys are my vibe tribe. And I'm definitely just blessed to have you all here. And I'm glad that new people are coming in. I'm glad new people are joining. I'm glad new people are feeling comfortable. You know, that's what we're here for. We're here to be comfortable, feel comfortable, show love, and as always, show support for one another. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Green Planta. Welcome, sweetheart. Welcome. Alicia, always have a wonderful time with you. Thank you so much for being here. You know I always appreciate you. So we will, me and Adrena will be setting this stuff up, and hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have something for you guys. And you know me, I'll do my short videos in between, giving you guys a little bit of words of wisdom. Anna, have a great night, sweetheart. Well, guys, I'm going to call it a night. Little man's got to get ready for bed. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you so much for joining and making this one emotional, but well worth it, one emotional chat. I definitely couldn't have asked for a better vibe tribe. I really couldn't have. So, you know, I love you all. Wishing you all peace and blessings and happiness. God's protection as always. Keep talking. Keep exposing. Get your stories out there, guys. And, you know, keep being the support beam that other people need. Let your light shine. I have to figure out better cliches. Not cliches, but better ways to end my lives. I'm just so tired. I'm exhausted. But guys, thank you so much for being here. I love you all. I definitely am looking forward to working with Adrena, and I will see you all next week, same time. And we'll figure out some more things to talk about, help some more people, open up some more eyes, and wake up. Let's wake up some more people. It's 2021. We got to do this, guys. So love you all, guys. Thank you for being here. See you all next week. Peace, love, blessings, all that good stuff. And until next time, guys, namaste. Good night, guys.